much, Christian. And I'm happy to be here for the second year with my dear colleague Pierre-Yves, with Wojciech, and with Hélène. With Hélène, today we have a special session about tangible impact on AI on manufacturing. Yeah, sorry, I need to. So, just to wrap up and to start this session, I made my duty, and I looked at some trend and some key number in the manufacturing area, and I would like to ground it after with you during the conversation. So first, I take a look at KPMG. They said intelligent manufacturing, competitive differentiator for firm embedding end-to-end AI. Being told that onboarding AI will bring 13 to 50% of productivity, 50% faster research and development, and 13% lower cost from PwC. Another trend is the new wave is agentic AI, digital twins, robotics, and physical AI. And to embrace it, IT and OT convergence, strong data architecture, and workforce upskills and responsible AI are the key element of this session. So I would like to ground these trends with all of you. So starting with you, Hélène, from first question, how do you align this trend in the real context of industrial transformation, and what is your point of view on it?
Yes, so this is a dream, right? We see what AI can do in the long term or in the midterm. At Schneider, yes, we believe that AI has the potential to transform entirely the industry. But going back to reality, I will give you a very simple example of what is existing today on AI in Schneider. And two numbers. The first one is on energy efficiency. And an example on energy efficiency. Globally, in the world today, 60% of the energy is wasted, from the production to the consumption, all over the value chain, 60%, 6-0. So the question is, how can we have the ability with intelligence to optimize this energy efficiency? This is one of the questions we have at Schneider on the AI part. And I will give you two very, very simple examples. The first one is at CityCon in Helsinki. It's a shopping center. So sorry, it's an industrial, but it can be adapted to industrial. AI is here to optimize the energy flow between EV chargers, solar panels, HVAC, and more. And the impact on that, it's 3 million invested, payback on 5 years, but 305 tons of CO2 emission avoided. And the first energy autonomous carbon neutral shopping center in Europe. So this is a real concrete example that exists. I will give a second one on the industry part. And this is in one of Schneider industry in Le Vaudreuil in Normandy. So very practical, right? Industry has to be digitalized to be competitive in France. Otherwise, it's not competitive anymore. So the first step was digitalization. The second step is basic application, as machine learning predicts, for example, for one machine, the sodium level in product to avoid waste and optimization process. The consequences of that is what? It's minus 22 waste and minus 15% gas consumption. So coming back to AI and the big dream that you say, the question practically for each process, for each optimization, is how we change the setup in industry so that we optimize everything that we can have around energy efficiency.
Thank you, Hélène. At you, Pierre-Yves.
Yeah, maybe to double down on what Hélène was saying. So we see at Nvidia two main trends. So there is mainstream AI like Gen AI, agentic AI that is already well deployed in the industry. You have copilots, you have already agents in your platform, etc. So the next step that we see here at NVIDIA is, and that will disrupt the industry in the future, is what we call physical AI. And physical AI is when AI is entering the real world and acting on it really, like through various forms of robots. It could be robotic arms, it can be humanoids, it can be AGVs, it can be autonomous cars, it can be drones, but it can be also autonomous factories, autonomous networks of factories. And for example, we have been working with Pegatron, which is an electronics manufacturer, and they have built a platform to model all their factories. And thanks to these digital twins today, they are able to reduce the construction time by 40%, 40, which is amazing. Second point, they are able to optimize their processes, pinpoint bottlenecks. They are able, thanks to vision language model, for example, to monitor the quality, monitor assembly process. And thanks to that, they have been able to reduce by 2/3 the defects that they see in those factories. Another example with a great partner of ours, which is Schneider Electric, for example, is that so Schneider is a leading supplier in data centers, but those data centers are more and more resembling factories because you have more power supply, you have more cooling, and then hence the term AI factories. And so it's becoming more and more complex to design that. And so together, what we did is that we build a digital twin of those data centers with accelerated simulation so that NVIDIA, Schneider, and all the ecosystem can work together to build those AI factories. And maybe a last point that we're exploring, for example, if we go to the R&D, is that we are using AI accelerated simulation to build components with Schneider faster in the future. So we see testimonies of physical AI going through the industry at the moment.
Yeah, so in certain terms, we confirm this trend. Wojciech?
Okay, so my point is slightly different here. I like the word grounding that Hakim used before. So every single time when we have a new technology, especially AI in the manufacturing, we have to remember about three main things. It has to be efficient, proximity to the data, and ability to scale. That's important. Without those three things, it will be just a pet project or small proof of concept. So efficiency. We are not wasting time for, like for example, 400-watt inferencing for a single manufacturing decision, because we are making hundreds and millions of those decisions, so it has to be efficient. So we are focusing on the smaller, optimized models. That's the first thing. We don't need a huge models on the manufacturing floor. It has to do right job for the right cost of energy and of course the standard cost. Second part is we are looking for the smaller models, but with, for example, with the quantization, 8, 4-bit, and maybe extreme quantization. If it's good for the manufacturing to make a decision, why not use it? Another thing is optimize runtimes. So for example, VLLMs. VLLMs allows us to run multiple models on the same infrastructure. So it means we can run tens of models on the same infrastructure very close to the production. And another thing is infrastructure that keeps it energy efficient, because we are running hundreds of inferencing every single time, so it has to be efficient. So we move the discussion about AI from the topic, what is the cool model, to calculate every single decision made by AI and make sure that it is efficient and it allows us to save money or increase the productivity. That's the first thing, efficiency. Second part is moving from the cloud or from the data center very close to the production line. Because if we are waiting 200 milliseconds for every single decision, it is unacceptable for quality control, security, robotic, and other things. So we have to be really close to the place where we are making decision. And the last part, ability to scale. That's important because if we talk about manufacturing, we're talking about hundreds of production lines, thousands of devices. So we need to scale it. We need tools or the process to make it happen in the large scale. So we are talking about deployment of the models. We are talking about security of models. We are talking about managing it at scale, like hundreds of thousands of even models. Also controlling everything. So what we're talking here is a standardization. Use a standard model across the factory. We are talking about monitoring of drift of the models. So we are switching from treating AI as something extraordinary to use AI as a standard asset in the manufacturing and treat it as a standard asset. That's the three main points.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this first question. Let's continue from 1 year, so from 2024 to 2025, we talk about generic AI. What is the new things that make it real now? What is the things that made it accelerate in the industry? And do you really see this acceleration in the industry? Hélène?
Yeah, I think we see it, to be frank. We have been working for years on the topic, right, in Schneider at least, but the last 3 years have been accelerating. I think for 3 reasons. The first one is the data availability. Although it's still a fight every day inside our company to have the right data. We all know that, right? So data availability is number one. Business demand for efficiency, optimizing, and sustainability. And the third one is technology maturity on AI. But one point that, from me, is very important is that AI is a disruption, and by definition, I hate to make forecasts on disruption. Everyone is doing the forecast, so 50%, 70%, whatever. It's the one that has the biggest number, right? We all know that, right? Disruption, we don't know. It's a definition of disruption is that we don't know the future. If we know the future, it's not a disruption for me. It's just a prevision, right? So I think we need to put ourselves in the same shoes that we were in 1997, before, at the beginning of the internet. I was finishing my school, and at the end of the school, my memory, I don't know how we say that. My last memory was, do people need to have an email? Right? That was 20, almost 30 years ago, right? We were not thinking about how disruptive internet will be. This is exactly where we are here, right? We are still thinking, do we need to have that? The reality is, as soon as we believe there's a disruption, there's no forecast that is possible. We need to be in a prospective way of thinking and not in a perspective way of thinking. Not taking what is existing to forecast what will be tomorrow. What we know, though, and going back to this digital first revolution, I will say, is that all the people that did not embrace the digital revolution, almost all of them, have been dead in the future. Because when you have a disruption, you need to embrace it. So the question today is, how fast are we able to accelerate in each of our companies to have AI at scale? And I completely agree with you. I think this is where we are here. So we have identified, we start with business needs, right? We try to, what is the problem that is solved, and try to have a responsible AI, meaning safety, cybersecurity, environmental impact, and then about frugality. But we have identified something like 200 applications on AI. No, based on those 200 applications possible for ourselves, Schneider Electric, which one will be able to have a change at scale? That's the key point, right? But again, for me, disruption means perspective and not forecast. Otherwise, we're dead.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, on the past 12 months, we have seen technological disruption for sure. Like, we have reasoning agents, we have small language models that are really improving accuracy and capabilities of AI. We have vision language models, for example, that are disrupting also computer vision development pipeline. What I see also, I agree with Wojciech, there is a maturity of the ecosystem that is unprecedented. So, for example, DELL you have been deploying lots of AI factories, Schneider too. We see services companies also that are enabling our clients that are used to deploy Gen AI, agentic AI within the industry. Software platforms also are very mature also, and the clients themselves are more mature than ever. But I agree with Hélène. The main disruption I see at the moment is the cultural shift that is happening. We are seeing companies adopting this speed of light kind of agility. Of course, tech companies, but also I see it in small industries that are very smart at adopting, off-the-shelf solutions and deploying super fast those revolutions. I see also in some legacy, old-fashioned companies, some small teams that are very focused and that are able to deliver those kind of very great value. And the main trend I see with those companies is that they are not asking themselves what the future will look like. They're asking themselves, how can I build it? How can I shape it? It's really the main difference that I see. They are not asking about the ROI of what they are doing. They are asking themselves, what if I don't do it? What happens to me if I don't do it? And the answer is, I can disappear, so they do it. And it's more about shaping than planning. But of course, it's very heterogeneous. It's going fast. It's not too late, I would say, but you have to embrace it now. Otherwise, you can face very difficult challenges in the near future.
Thank you, Pierre-Yves. Wojciech?
Okay, so my point on what is new in 2025, right? So I think we have much better models, especially the optimized, dedicated expert models, but it's not the main point. The main point is, at least for manufacturing, what I see with the discussion with my customer, is a change of way how we use AI. So in 2024, most cases it was ask a question to model and get answer. Treat it as an expert model. So the co-pilots, all of those things, chatbots. In 2025, we switched the gear. So now it is give a task to a model, like agentic AI, give me a task, and model will run the complex operation. So it will get the data from the OT environment. It will get the data from the sensors, analyze it and compare it with the requirements, read instruction, read work instruction, go through bill of materials. All those tasks will be handled by AI. And you know why? Because we are at the technology point where model can handle the tasks at least 30 minutes. So everything that human can do in 30 minutes, now we have AI that can do exactly the same. So that's the level of technology. The best models on the market can handle tasks up to 1 hour right now. So if you have a task in your factory that takes, for example, 15 minutes, it can be easily changed to the agent. So that's what we see. So agents are starting taking the whole tasks and make it for us. Of course, it is a cooperation with the human, and I will address it later. Second part is agents can handle unstructured data. That's what Pierre said. So, for example, visual language models. It was a nightmare for the manufacturing to run the computer vision because you have to train it precisely for the product or for the tool. Now you can just ask model, hey, describe what you see on this picture. Describe if there's any defects or scratches or what is happening here on this scene, and model will give you an answer. And it will give you an answer in precise way how you ask it. So you don't need a trained model every single time when you change a product. Just change a prompt. That's where we are, and agents are helping us here. And the last part is, it is connected to the first part, it's efficiency. Now we can run multiple agents or multiple smaller models on the same infrastructure. It's not because we need it, but we can dedicate it one single task to one single AI, and they work in the team. So we are talking about industrial agentic teams that are working on our factory floor, working together, communicating with each other towards the common goal. That's a common reality. And the last part is, we are not there yet to trust AI to make a decision. So what we keep AI on the level, give me a recommendation. Maybe in the future we'll go a step further and ask, make a decision, because it's easy. Just send command to MES system or send command to OT and make a decision. We're not there yet. So what we have is a recommendation system. So it's common across the manufacturing that AI is giving a recommendation to the manufacturing team, to the maintenance team, or to other teams to make changes. But we are at the moment where AI is giving a recommendation, not making a final decision for us.
Thank you very much for these answers. If I just wrap up on it for the last question, simplification, domain-specific model in the manufacturing, you need to embrace it because there is a value. Today, there is a value. So my last question will be, Schneider Electric, Nvidia, you are customer, we are partner, also with DELL Technology, customer, partner, in front of our customer. How we are working together to provide this tangible and concrete AI result to our customers. Hélène?
It's again me first, right? I think we are in an ecosystem, and we cannot be alone in the game. And by the way, this is the second thing that is difficult in AI. The first one is disruption does not allow forecast. And the second one is you cannot work alone. You have to be in an ecosystem. And you have to align everyone to make the right direction. If there's just one actor in the value chain that is not playing the game, it's killing the disruption. This is what is tried to be done in France, in the world, but also what we are trying to do between actors, private actors, in order to be able to align all this ecosystem. I will give you a few examples on that, more on the manufacturing and as a provider of technology, hardware, and software. If I develop a UPS for data center, but I don't have the right integrators, the right installers, the right technician in France to be able to maintain the AI liquid cooling solution, for example, it's dead. So it's a basic example, but you see that even only at Schneider with our usual ecosystem, we need to train, we need to make people progress, etc., so that they are able to be empowered in AI. That's the most difficult part, right? The people part. How you train the people, by the way. Second example, the architecture of the data center are profoundly changing when we speak about AI. So we need to work on Nvidia on one side to have design architecture, because it's not the same to be referenced as design architecture. We need to work with DELL also, because it's not the same rack, it's not the same OM server, it's not the same everything around the value chain. So everything here, from a pure hardware perspective already, has to be aligned. So the question is really, which ecosystem do we build at worldwide level, but also at local level in France? Practically, how many technicians, I mean, I'm basic a little bit, right? How many technicians goes in the white space to upgrade the liquid cooling solution? How do I train those guys? With whom? With which ecosystem in France? And on the other hand, how do I have a architecture design that is compliant between Nvidia and Schneider? So you see, when there is a disruption, the question of ecosystem for me is fundamental in this evolution.
And also, so to double down on what you were saying, so we work with DELL, for example, we build reference architecture all together from hardware to software. We work with you, Schneider, so we work together on our roadmaps to make those AI factories fly, so you can build new power supply, so you can build new cooling solutions for the future. we work also with the software vendors, for example, to integrate our solutions. So we work with ETAP, for example, to be able then to build digital.
ETAP is Schneider. Okay. We're everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. You're everywhere. So we work with you guys to create those digital twins then for the data centers and so on. We also work with the solution provider, solution integrators. So we develop, for example, what we call NIMs, which are kind of Lego bricks. We also develop Lego manuals, which are the blueprints on the most common use cases, and we enable those service companies so that then they can help the customers doing that in their environment. So we are enabling everyone. We also talk to research institute also, for example, in some cases. So we enable the full ecosystem. And maybe something I would like to add also is that we try also to torture ourselves first. So what we do, if we think, for example, AI is the next revolution, we think digital twins is the next revolution. Okay, so then to build AI factories, let's build data centers digitally first. And then let's add AI simulation within those digital twins. So basically, we are trying that all together, DELL, Schneider, Nvidia. And then when we go to the market, we can say, okay, if you don't believe us, look at what we have been doing together, and it helps you also, because we know the challenges that we will face, we limit them, and we also see the benefits of using them.
Thank you very much. So the notion of customer zero, from Nvidia perspective, from Schneider Electric, and from DELL is key. We are at the forefront and the front line of this adoption of AI to be ensured that from our experience, we can meet our customer requests.
Exactly. So that's what we do. Sometimes customers ask what DELL can do for manufacturing, especially for AI, because we are not building models. We are not building runtimes, but we can help you make it easier. So that's our job and our goal: make it easier for you. So we are handling. So there are 3 parts of AI projects in every single company, but especially in the manufacturing: people, process, and technology. So people and process are the most difficult, but it's your task. We are handling technology. Together with Nvidia, DELL, and our partners, we are handling technology for you, so that you can focus on people and the process and make it easy and make it alive as a AI project. So we are minimizing your risk of failure. It is still a challenge, but we are providing the best infrastructure for AI at the edge, very close to the production line. We are providing infrastructure, sync, and build together with Nvidia as an AI factory for your data center to make sure that all those thousands of use cases that you have in mind, you can test, you can run, and you can scale on the production. That's what we do as a DELL. And of course, we are doing it in our own factories. DELL have 10 factories worldwide, and we are testing those things. We are checking and make sure that those are ready for your production. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are near the end. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to make a quick wrap up. So finally, all the trends that we have seen, it's more than just trend, but it's a reality. And this reality is accelerating more and more. There is a huge importance of the ecosystem, from the partnerships that we have between DELL, Schneider, and Nvidia to help our customer, but also inside our customer side to ensure that they have a strong data architecture, a strong workforce upskills around AI. So workforce enabled with AI, and the objective is really to be ready for tomorrow, the next wave. You talk about agentic AI. I think we are going more about robotics, physical AI in the future, in order to have, would like to say, more domain-specific AI for each layer of industry. So you will have many agents and multiple AI agents that have different skills inside the factory. So thanks very much for this great conversation. We are near the end, 13 seconds. That's perfect. So thank you very much.